Yeah.
Hello, my love. So I'm so excited. This is another one of my speakers from the Dream to Done Summit. And, I've been in this industry for 20 plus years. It takes a lot to dazzle me. And some of my speakers, I'm like, oh man. All right. And so Kierra is one of the dazzlers. And so what we're doing in these little interviews is we're just actually it's not even an interview, it's just a conversation. We just want to bring some awareness, share about the summit, and just kind of give like new ways of thinking. So the summit's called Dream to Done, Growing a Business You Love with Intuition, Joy, Energy, and Strategy. We want you to really have holistic businesses. We want you to have businesses that serve your life. And the tagline of the summit that I am just so behind is kind of being turning into my life's mission is making money in a way that makes you feel good,
Mm.
because there's a lot of ways to make money in a way that costs you irreparably in some cases. And so I hand selected, I curated this magnificent cohort of myself and 20 other speakers, and all the women are like wholly behind this mission, and their brilliance is dazzling. So I'm thrilled to be here with Kierra Jones. So first, tell us who you are and tell us like your talk title and your focus on the summit, because it was again dazzling.
Oh, thank you so much, Therese. I agree with you. We are 100% behind your mission. Thank you for having me, for inviting me, having me be a part of this. For those that are watching, I am Kierra Jones, aka the Shine Strategist. And what I'm known for is helping women, subject matter expert women who are powerful and amazing and incredible at what they do. So there's no question about that. There often becomes this point, though, at am I articulating? Am
Yes,
I
yes.
communicating? Am I conveying how amazing I am at what it is that I do? Sometimes we bring in things about am I being boastful? Am I being,
Yeah.
that nice, not nice word that, sometimes they want to associate with women who are just being a boss and
Powerful.
who are
That's
being
right. That's right.
powerful,
Yeah, sure.
right? And so helping women step into this unapologetic energy with their message and doing it in a way that's, energetically, that's purposefully, that
Mm.
is soulfully in alignment with them, but also that is strategically positioning them in a powerful way. So mixing in mindset and skill set, so we bring that together to help you make more money with your message, because we like
Oh,
to say the
good.
money is in the message.
Good.
So that's
That's
what I do.
fantastic.
Yeah, and then the talk that we have for the summit, so I cannot wait. It's going to be juicy. Make sure that you get your tickets. So somewhere around this video, you're going to see the link. Get your seat for the summit. It's amazing, amazing speakers. My talk in particular, in the conversation that you and I had, was all about really just igniting buyer energy, and really understanding that buyer energy, when you ignite that, is going to allow you to be able to connect deeper
Mm.
and therefore convert faster your most aligned clients, right? I'm really big on not any client, right? Aligned clients, and helping them be able to make those decisions from an empowered place up front, so that you don't have to spend a bunch of time in your sales
Yeah,
calls, sales
convincing, right?
events,
Sure.
DMs, convincing, and all the things. So that's what we, chatted about in our time together.
It was dazzling. So I'm Therese. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Therese Scally. I'm the summit host. This is my second of this kind of the same summit. And it was so powerful last time. I'm like, oh, I'm doing this again. And now I'm
Yep.
doing one in June, and more people are like, can I be a part of it? Can I be a part of it? Because really people love this message. I've been in the industry for 20 years. Prior to that, I was a psychotherapist. And so I came in with a deep understanding of the subconscious and how your behavior is impacted, and how your the self-sabotage, and how so many things, those high achieving women that she's talking about, they come to me because they're like, I know there's more here. And for whatever reason, I can't. I should be here and I'm here. And so what
Yep.
I do is I help with the subconscious blocks, I help with the energetics, I get them, aligned. Because a lot of it is identity, care. It's really like you have to have, this is who I am, not just this is a strategy I'm doing. And what's wild is you don't even know what's holding you back. So it could be something, your mother's grandfather experienced and you carried it in.
Yeah.
And so my mastery is like, I can go in with my intuition to quickly identify, clear that, and then walk out the strategy, because I've been a business coach for 20 years. So we're very similar in our stuff. She's got some specialty in messaging and selling that. And that's why I wanted to bring her. So what's there's the people that I hate to sell. It would be sleazy. We're not really talking to you. We're talking to the people that like I'm down to sell. Like I really, right, I want to sell. But I know
Yeah.
when I was trained, Kara, oh my, it was guerrilla. It was stealth. We catch them, and I literally learned. I learned from the top trainers, and I had a 10-page sales script. So if they say A,
Wow.
go to B, and it was literally you were catching them in an objection. And it was such like my whole nervous system when I'm saying that, I'm like, oh, good hell. So what I did, I sucked at it as I should have, because that's a horrible way to do it. And then I created my own selling formula. So let's talk about the women that like I'm all right to sell. I know I have to make invitations. I know my work is magical. I'm down for that conversation. How do we shift that? How do we help them? Like what's changing? What are you seeing? What's some of your magic around this area?
Oh, you just said so many beautiful things. I started out in sales also, literally when I was 19, starting out in corporate. And
Oh
I had my
my.
first business when I was 8, though. I don't
I
like to
love
tell
that
you,
part. Yes, yes.
Um, but for me professionally, agreed with you that we had way more than a 10-page document. So it's like, how are you even supposed to retain all that? Like, how am I supposed to remember that? How am I supposed to retain all that? And then, the biggest part of selling, especially for individuals who do powerful transformational work, like you and I, like the clients that we work with, the individuals that are coming to this summit that are watching this, the work that you do is very much connected to who the other person is or the people are on the other side of that camera or that microphone or in the seats at that event, when you're on stage, etc. Right. And so you need to be able to listen. I talk a lot about client intimacy, and I talked a little bit about that. So you can listen to the full chat that you and I had.
Yeah.
But client intimacy is required for the level of transformation that we do. So, how am I supposed to be intimate with you, actually hear what's going on for transformational work, not transactional, but transformational, and still remember the 10 pages or the 100 pages of the thing? Like, how am I supposed to do it all and still be myself? It's too much. And it's funny because, ironically, I had a conversation with one of my inner circle members, and she's one-on-one client and then also inner circle member. And so she was talking to me about something, and she actually was saying, she just had her biggest month, and she was like, it was easy. And so we've been working on this for about 3 or 4 months.
Yeah.
And so she said something like, I didn't use the script. And so I said, let's process that. And so why did you ever feel like you had to use the script? Why is there safety that comes into the script? Because somebody said, I made this much money, I made millions of dollars, and it was all from
I
this
follow
script.
their pattern,
I
right?
followed their pattern, right? Instead of like, no, I think maybe that person was so crystal clear in their voice and their message and who they were and what they offered and what they delivered. And they knew how to listen to what you were saying and how to connect the two. Now, they may have had a script in their hand or not, but it's really them being so in tune with them. And
Right.
so we started doing some role playing, right? And so there's something to be said for us, especially as women, where we start to put our power in something else, right? Instead of like, no, it's always been in you. And the other thing I want to say, I have a video on YouTube about this, talking about women and selling.
Mm. We could go for days on
We
that one. Yes, yes.
we literally sell vegetables to children
Mm.
every single day. We sell like healthier items. Like I have some vegan chicken nuggets down in these chicken tenders down in the freezer, and I made this chicken wrap. And sometimes Mike does not know that it is not chicken. And there's some, like, how many times a day are you actually selling something? One of my clients, she has puppies, and she said she was in the dog, because I try to, with my clients, get them away from selling.
Yeah,
Like, it's
sure.
not about selling your offer. Like, let's just talk about other things. So I'll just go into conversation with them. And so we got to this point where we were talking about her. She sold dog items in the middle of like the dog store, not PetSmart, but somewhere. And she literally was like, I got the person to buy like 4 things. And we talked about that and processed that. And so What's the difference? Oh, because your name is on the door, your name is on the check, you're signing the check. And now it's like there's pressure because I'm the person behind it versus when it was just, hey, buy, this chapstick. Oh, girl, let me tell you about this chapstick. It's
Exactly.
amazing. It's this. Or if it's our
Exactly.
friend, let me tell you about Therese. She's
You have
amazing,
to, yeah, yeah,
incredible,
yeah, yeah.
all the
Right.
things. But when
Right.
it's you, there's a thing. And so we have to really break that down where we find safetyness and default to those elements versus this right here. This right here, like I tell people my first business, I did all the things: website, professional photos, business cards, do all the things. It was like, okay, where's the traffic to my website?
Yeah.
Oh, oh, okay. Right. And so when I started my coaching, I learned very quickly, I'm not doing any of that because I knew I needed this,
It's just the energy and it's
just
the
this,
expression, the invitation. Yeah.
So, oh, there's so many
I know.
layers,
I
but
know. Well, let me bounce around a little
yeah,
bit here. So I
yeah,
think so many women are, I'm in my 60s. And it's shocking, but I'm in my 60s. And
fabulous.
there was conditioning, especially if you're a mother, you were trained like, oh, oh no, no, don't worry about me. You take, like I was raised Irish, and my grandparents were Irish, very, very Irish family. And there's an expression that says, I don't be putting on airs. And what that means is you don't want to make yourself look good. Like don't, center, don't. And so if you think about it, there's the tall poppy syndrome in other cultures where the tallest poppy gets chopped down. There's so much that we're swimming in. And so stop
Mm,
it if you're hesitant to go, you should just freaking hire me because I'm amazing. Men have no problem doing that. They can beat their chest and do the happy dance at the end zone. But women have not been conditioned to do that. And so just understand that if there's hesitancy, it's probably not even yours. It's old conditioning. And here's what I always say. If you had the cure for cancer, would you go, oh, but I already talked to Kierra last week. I don't want to bother her. No, you would
yeah,
not. So
yeah,
when you start saying, you're awesome, do you fully know you're awesome? And could you stand up boldly and unapologetically? And if you, in my selling formula, it's own your value is the first step. Because if you're not owning the value you bring, that's the moneymaker right there. And if you're like, I hate to, if there's any part of you that is wavering, so if that's not in place, they're not getting your magic, right? Like I say, lighthouses aren't going, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, they just freaking stand and shine and they bring
yep,
people in. So that's the essence of it. So how do you like, are there anything else you want to say around that? Because I think that's a massive problem. And so just ask yourself, if you're watching, how fully can I just go, you absolutely should hire me, Kierra, and here's the price and here's why, like not able to justify, but in your mind, like, of
yeah,
course I can stand on that. Like
yeah,
if we can have that, then it's not even selling. It's just, here's the thing. You want to have it like invitation, right? So do you
yep.
want to talk anything else about that?
Oh my goodness. If we stop making it about us, I know that's probably going to
No, that's all
sound
of it. That's
a
it.
little, well,
Yes.
some people are going to take that opposite, like going to say, isn't that opposite? So, this is why we align. So the very first thing you talk about owning value. So for me, it's owning your method, but your method is your value, like
Value.
what it
That's
is
right.
that you
That's
do,
right.
right? And I talk about all the time that you're actually not selling an offer. You're actually selling your transformation, which is delivered through your method. And so if you don't understand how to communicate the value of that, you've lost the game.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
so with that being said, it's not about you. So yes, you could do all the work on like I'm confident in myself and my value and what I offer and all that. And once we're done with that, we're done.
And we go to
And now
the,
we go
what are
all
they
the way
getting?
into client intimacy. We go all
That's
the way
right.
into
That's right.
buyer energy. That's why
That's
you got to
right.
grab your seat to the summit so you can hear us talk about it, y'all.
Yeah.
And so when we go into those things that we talk, you and I talked about in that talk, right? Those are important because you have to make it about them. Let me talk about, you said for men, let's use that. The men are like, come hire me, beat on my chest.
Yeah.
I'm King Kong.
Yeah.
Here's
Yeah.
why I'm amazing and you should do this.
Yeah. Doesn't
And so
work for
we as
us.
women
Yeah.
have a beautiful trait of, hey baby, what's going on? Why don't you want to eat that broccoli? Why don't you want to wear those shoes today? Why don't you think your hair looks beautiful? Husband, why don't you like this shirt? It looks amazing on you. What's coming up for you that you don't want to wear that? That's powerful because what happens with buyer energy that we talked about in the summit is, you are getting your people. I'm all about pre-selling. I am not selling you anything. And I'm not even selling myself. I'm not even proving myself. I'm not convincing
Don't
you.
have
I'm
to.
not doing any
Yeah.
of that. I'm
Right. You
very
don't
clear
Yeah,
with what I
right,
know that I can help you do. But
right,
I don't know that you actually know that you need it. I need to figure that out. Do you know that you need this?
right,
And are you
right.
clear? So let me see if are you able to sell yourself on this? Meaning, do you have your own urgency? I'm not doing fake urgency.
Yeah,
My card
yeah.
is closing and it's going away forever because the internet's dying tomorrow. No, I'm not doing all of that. When you look in the mirror, you already know for me, your voice is you're not aligned with what you're saying, or your message is this, or if you're weight, in what weight and health, your client is looking in the mirror having things go on with their weight and their health. If you are a relationship coach, your client has things going on with their relationship. Your people have things already going on. You don't need to do that much convincing, but what you need to do is make sure you're connecting what you offer and what you deliver and what you help with what is going on with them. And so that's why for me, when I'm working with women, and I love women who, they have already had that initial part of growth in their business.
Mhm.
So they've gotten started in all those beautiful
Yes.
things. And they're like, okay, I do want to double, I do want to increase. And it's kind of like, what is missing? And it's because you've been selling in that way. You've been selling in like, well, here's who I am. Let me tell you all the things. And it's like, what if we did not make this about you? And it was all, how do I help them sell themselves? That's what your message actually could do. That everybody thinks like, no, my message should tell them how great I am.
Oh,
It's
that's
different.
just I that
And
is
that's
such
what
a
men
beautiful
don't
yeah,
understand.
right. Well, and from the subconscious part, when it's about you, the little gremlins are gonna bite you in the head. When it's about you, when you're focused on can I charge as much, as opposed to what's this transformation worth? Like, oh my gosh, right? If you could nail the messaging, if you could learn, like when you get to what the transformation, then you can just be like, There's a quiet strength about that. You're not selling you, you're selling the transformation for them. And so I love that. Do they know and do they trust? I mean, that's magnificent. That's magnificent. I've actually had clients in a selling conversation because we all have, the people have objections, right? And sometimes I will say, they're like, I'm not sure. I'm like, do you not trust me? Do you not trust yourself? And they're like, ooh, because a lot of people have
Mm-hmm.
bought services or they've tried programs and it hasn't worked. And so just FYI, there is hesitancy. There's like, what's going to be different this time? How will I know it can work? So how would you answer that? Because that speaks to that, how do you empower somebody to go, whoa, so
Yeah. Oh, I love this. Oh, we did a call all about this, and we have a mini course coming up because of that call. You gave the most beautiful question. Do you not trust me, or do you not trust yourself? And this is really beautiful. And actually, this was something that came up in our sorry, my team is messaging me in our conversation on the talk like outside. We weren't recording it,
yeah,
y'all,
yeah,
because we were just chit chatting. But this is part of it. We were talking about like the industry because I've been in the industry for like so I've been full time for since 2014. Then got really serious in 2015. Went full time in 2016, and you've been in the
yeah,
industry
yeah,
for
20,
longer than that.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So like, we were talking about the just changes and I was telling you my term of like Pop Tart coach and how I think I started using that like in 2017. 2016 or 2017. I had a client from Canada and she laughed at it. And it was just like, you pop up out the toaster, you're like, I'm a coach. And so especially when we look at a time like 2020 where a bunch of people, came and they were like, I'm gonna be a coach from stay at home and all this. And so
Right.
there's a difference between the people who like this is in their heart,
Oh,
like this is in
mission,
their heart, this
soul
is in their
purpose.
spirit,
Yes, yes, yes.
and I've made investments with individuals that did not do this from their heart, and I could feel it, and I could, and what an experience to be coached and led by people from that place.
Yeah,
um and then also I've experienced people who are similar to me where it is very much like I can look in their eyes and I can see they desire to be on this call with me. That's a different experience. You show up for me different, and it's not you're showing up for me and you're overly doing something. You're showing up for me and giving me the fullness of you in our capacity and in our time
mhm,
together. And so with that being said, a part of that trusting yourself, I think the biggest, one of the things is coming back to your values and coming back to why you do this work. And that may change. There's another interview that I was doing, and it was talking about like our progression over a decade plus. And I was talking about like my transformation, and just you have those moments where you reflect and you're like proud of yourself because you're like, wow, I've grown, wow. And you think about when you first start, you may have certain, those listening, right, I want you to think about like when you first started, whether it was 2 years ago or 12 years ago or 20 years ago, like what was your why then? And then examine that now. It's okay that that some of the elements of it may have changed. That's okay. And then also give light to it's okay that it could be the same foundation, but there's deeper layers of it. And so I think that if you can do that for yourself, you can also do that on the flip side for making investments. I know that when I think about certain investments I made, especially like 8 years ago, 9 years ago, I made them from a very disempowered place.
So
I
many
very
people
much
come
did.
to me from like, oh, I thought this would save me. I thought this guy finally would. And so if you're seeking for something outside of it, now, obviously, if I'm gonna do Facebook ads, there's nothing inside of me that knows that I do Facebook ads. But
Mhm,
that's from a grounded resource. This would be a next step for me versus, oh, thank God somebody's coming to save me. And I have
mhm.
so many women that make investments like, I'm not strong enough, I don't know enough, boom. And I'm like,
Yeah,
you just outsource your authority. So you can make a good choice, but don't outsource your authority. Don't turn your business over to somebody whose values are like, if it's one thing, here we all have those, like those, our mentor says something, we're like, oof, oh, that's a stretch. Oh, wait, sending 10 emails in 2 weeks. That might be a stretch.
yeah.
But when there's strategies that you're like, where your whole body is cringing and everything in you is like, ugh, and your mind goes, yeah, but they're the expert. Yeah, they made all the money. Just shut up. Don't ever do that. That's where it never can work. It never ever works. So
It can't because, we talk about co-creation, right?
yes.
Especially for me doing something like messaging.
Oh, it
For me as a
has to be
woman of
co-creation.
it
There's
has to, right? For me as a woman of faith, I often tell them your message was seeded and
yeah,
planted
yeah,
within you well
yeah,
before you even
yes,
knew my name, before you ever saw me online. And it will still be there if ever there is a time where you and I aren't like talking every day again.
yeah,
So, because of that, we have to co create this. There is not this cure. Well, what do I say now?
yeah. It's
That's
not
not
the
even,
worksheets you're filling out.
yeah, we literally I call it CEO expression extraction. I have to extract certain things out of you. So, and then I even often talk about like you need to have some time with yourself
Yeah,
because there are going to be things that you hear that you won't hear when it's you and I on a call, whether it's a one-on-one call or a group call, whether we're in person or whether we're virtual, you just won't hear it. And so the point of me sharing, like going back to your why and like revisit, I know we like, oh, go back to your why, but I hope that you're hearing it in a different way today. I hope that you're hearing it in this, like, let me revisit that because when I'm making investments, I need to bring those two together because we are both expressing
yeah,
we have, experienced making investments where we didn't necessarily bring those into light. And so when you are able to, if you go to Facebook ads, for example, if there's a skill set that you don't have
yeah,
that you desire, yes, invest in it, but you still get to say, this is still my vision and my mission.
right.
If my vision and my mission is, oh, I am desiring to connect with more of my people.
Yeah, yeah,
And one of the ways I would love to do that is Facebook ads. And I know that I don't have that skill set. Here's the ways that I could get that skill set. That's different from this person is doing it and I think that I should do it. And because now you're bringing in rules and shoulds and all that, and you're going to have layers
not
of
empowered.
resentment.
You're not
Those are two
resourced.
different. Yeah. So even though you can make it from a powerful place, you still got to check in on like,
Yeah,
is this the way that I desire to bring forth this part of my vision, my mission, blah, 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 blah. It's the same way of you hiring somebody on your team
yep, yep,
because you don't have that skill set, but you still want to know, are they a character that I desire to have in my space every day, that I trust, that I want to talk to, several times a week, multiple times a day, etc. So yeah, I would definitely say with the trusting of yourself, coming back to that place. And one other thing I would say is when you're looking at making those investments, um, be okay with not every second is going to feel amazing. I know we talk about like, I'm going to love making this investment and all these types of things. But if there is a place of discomfort, I would invite you to ask yourself. There's times where I've had coaches who are amazing, incredible, and I can say, I do not like what you are asking me to do. The same way I can look at my mother and I can
yeah,
say, I don't like what you're asking me to do, but I know that this is not going to bring me any harm. And
yeah,
I know
yeah.
that
You just
if I
scratch your
get
head.
this done, if I grow as I grow through this, whatever this is going to bring me, I know that this is going to be so good for me. I just my human self doesn't like this right now,
Mhm.
but I know that this is going to be good, right? I can look at my partner and think of little things that he'll say
Yeah,
to me, and I'm
yeah,
like, oh, but I know you're
exactly,
right, you
exactly,
know?
exactly.
So that's different from like my heart
Yeah,
feels like this
yeah,
should not be the place. And I think sometimes we confuse that and we
exactly.
take it as like no when you're really a yes. Oh, and the last thing, I know this is a little bit of teaching, but y'all, from a
And
sales
we got to wrap
standpoint,
up after this. So,
totally fine. Just be okay with saying no. Be okay with saying no. There is power in no. Stop leading people on. Like, if you don't want to do it, say you
we'll
don't
say
want to do
no.
it. You are going to have so much power and peace. And this is not just sales,
It's
this is your
everything, your
relationship.
whole
This is
life.
if you don't want to cook the turkey for Thanksgiving, if you don't want to bring a pie at Christmas, please honor
Yeah.
your no, because if
Oh,
you don't
that's
honor
right.
your no, you're not honoring your yeses. And you're doing the same thing with the quality of your clients, with your payments, with your sales process, whether you're doing the buying or somebody's buying with you. And then you're getting the same thing. That's why your people are circling you like, oh, yeah, I'm thinking about it. Like, no, nope. Like somebody was asking me to make an investment. No, I don't desire to make that investment.
Yeah.
And I don't desire to make that investment with you. And I can give you feedback if you desire to know why. I'm not being a mean person when I say it. I'm lovingly telling you the things that I love and the things that I don't. And I don't desire to make that right now. I don't desire to use my money in that way. It's not I don't have money. I think we blame money, and there's a difference. Stop saying I don't have the money for something when you do, because now you're doing a
Oh,
whole
yeah,
big thing that you don't want
yeah,
to do.
yeah,
Just I
yeah.
don't desire to use my money for that right now. This doesn't feel right for me. So be honest with yourself and with the words that you're using.
So, I'm going to call that sovereignty. Because women don't have to defend, we don't have to justify, we don't have to apologize. Oh, I really would like to. We don't have to tend to you. If I say no to you, I don't have to then tend to you and oh, make sure you're okay. We can just go, oh, gosh, thank you so much. That's just not going to work for me right now. I'm not available for that. Period. That is leadership because it starts with self leadership. I know my no, and I'm not afraid to express it. That's it.
Yep.
Strange that we're wrapping up with that, but I'm going to
Yeah.
say no to keep talking. We can go for
Yes.
hours, Kierra.
We
That's
got
the problem. And
boundaries.
I got an interview in 10 minutes. So, all right, look,
Absolutely.
watch the summit. And if you are excited about the concept, share it with your friends because who doesn't want to make money in a way that feels good, right? That's what we're talking about. So, Kierra, you are magical. So good to be with you, darling. Thanks so much. We'll talk soon. Bye.
Absolutely.